not the worst world. We're just pretending that it is, okay? The reason why it doesn't make sense for Democrats to disavow over and over and over again when Republicans won't do it is because there is a worse world for this. And the worst world is...
By not condemning Republicans get maximum rewards while Dems get the downside. Oh, like you're basically saying that the Republicans rat you out in the prisoner's dilemma and you get the 5 years, right? Which means that you don't get the benefits, right? You're the one who gets fucked, right? But at least when you're ratting out each other, you're the ones who are both like punished, but it's like punished equally, which is like fine. You don't get the 5, you get the 3, right? And the ones where you're actually being civil is 1-1, right? That's the 1-1 scenario, right? Okay, I'm beginning to understand this, okay? But I still find this kind of stuff entertaining, okay? Just mainly because I like the psychological games that play, that happens. Yeah.
I'll call it genocide, but I mean, you can put whatever you want here. Genocide, absolute violence, one-sided firing squad, whatever, execution. There is a worse world than this one
I understand
here.
now.
And that worse...
Okay. Okay.
world is one side enacting violence.
I mean, like, I'll probably still say something along the lines of like, honestly, the way I kind of think about it is like, down the road, we want what's best down the stream, but we can't imagine the future, so we're taking the brunt now, right? That's the way I kind of think of the whole situation. Like the prescription. If I were to say this part seriously to like a friend, if I was trying to convince a friend why what Destiny does right now is actually a good thing, not a bad thing, right? Because people think right now the problem is that people think that Destiny right now is just being spiteful, right? People think that Destiny is just currently being spiteful. He's using charged language in a very unpragmatic way, right? But I would argue again that it's pragmatic, right? The reason why I would argue it's pragmatic is because you're investing you're investing in dividends, so then you're able to cash out later on, right? You're committing money into your stock portfolio, right? So then later on you're able to cash out, right? Like, sure, you take the brunt in the short term, it's gonna hurt, but then down the line you're gonna be glad that you did that, right? But yeah, like, it's like investing in retirement, right? No, Foodshops, the separation doesn't matter. The rational behavior is to betray the other because you guarantee a better result for yourself regardless of whether you're in communication with the other prisoner, right? Which is why I say, well, I mean, police on purpose, like, what they do is that they try to separate the two, right? They don't want the two talking, or if they arrest two people at the same time, like, they do this IRL, right? Like, they separate the two, right? But like, yeah, I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean.
Violence. And the problem is that the Republican rhetoric is pushing us in that direction, where the Republicans want to push us here, right? Where it's a Dem utter loss. And they do that by already trying to say that we are here, right? You've heard the Republicans say over and over again, it's all left-wing violence, it's all left-wing violence, it's all left-wing violence. And they do that as a call to their own side, that they need to respond with violence. So the reason why I'm not sympathetic to people saying we need to turn down the temperature, well, just because the other side isn't doing it doesn't mean we can't. No, fuck you. We're not in the worst world right now. This world, right, which is this part of the prisoner's dilemma box, this world is preferable right here to this world, or this world, right? And the one-sided calls right for just us, we just need to disavow. No, I'm sorry. The president of the United States.
Also, you know what's funny is that the Democrats don't even want genocide. That's the thing. Because this question even assumes that the Democrats want genocide of the Reds, right? Which is not true. Like, it's just simply not true. We're not, like, nobody, because But do you know what the problem is? The problem is that the Republicans are trying to convince all the other um Republican voters that this is actually what the Democrats want, right? The Democrats actually do want a blue collar genocide, right? A white genocide. Does that sound familiar? The Great Replacement? Does that sound familiar? The Great Replacement, the white genocide. That these all sound familiar because these are talking points that the right has been pushing for years at this point, right? So the thing is that they are already setting themselves up as this prisoner's dilemma, right? I don't know. Like this even implies that this is the case for the other side. When in actuality, do you know what the Democrats want? The Democrats want civility, right? They want the one, right? They want the one, right? They don't want the blue genocide, right? It's like way beyond that. Um and but the Republicans unironically want a genocide of some kind, like most likely, right? Yeah, absolutely, there would be MAGA themed gas chambers, right, for brown people, yeah, and then trans people down the line, yeah.
Without having any fucking idea at all who the actual shooter is, has already blamed one side. Okay? They've already blamed one side. I don't want to be in this world or this world. I would rather be in this world, as much as it sucks. It's not a good world to be in. It sucks.
Make sure to watch Destiny's reaction to the Veritas CM video. It explains the infinite variation, the prisoner's dilemma, very well. Okay, yeah, you know what? Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do it because Zip Zip told me to watch it. So when does he watch this? Zip Zap, Zip Zip. Fuck it. Hold on, let me find it. Okay, thank you.
The best
Ermitrude, who are you in the community? What name do you go by?
world would be this one. But in the prisoner's dilemma, one person can't get you here. Both players independently have to make decisions. And there is no virtue in making this decision over and over and over and over and over again, especially when it's not just you playing, but you're making decisions that impact your group as well. You can't.
A bit to the right.
When I hear the governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker, blame.
Shh. I like how he just cut.
New revelation or depending this
Just words. This stuff has horrified by the
understand the difference thing, but I think there's a lot
Oh my god,
of people out there that look at the prisoner's dilemma thing and go, "Oh no, I would never do the betrayal because then at least I keep the moral high ground."
I thought you were lying.
And
the whole
try
point
to
of the
make some
prisoner's
kind of
dilemma
argument.
is that you are always coming out worse, though. Yeah.
JK,
Right, and they go, well, no, but you see, if we give in and we betray them, then that means we're going to lose our liberalism.
Wait, who is this person? Is this Kafka?
We're going to lose the American liberal project, and it's kind of like the fact that you're in the prisoner's dilemma means we are no longer in that liberal project, right? Like you're living in a
No name. I just started watching the stream after the Destiny shout out. Oh. Okay. Wait, when did Destiny shout me out? I mean, he's mentioned my names several times, but I don't think it's ever explicitly on his stream, no? Isn't that Zip Zip? No, it's Kafka. Wait, why isn't he displaying the little buggo cute art thing in the top? Where's the buggo?
a world that's already dead.
Sure.
Yeah, I know this is a bit newer pill to one degree, but on the other side, the good part of that is we are not in a situation, and this is one of the reasons why we should not do nonviolence or civil disobedience as a tactic, because we are not in a minority as a power, right? We're not a small group being oppressed by a larger group, and then and trying to, like that, the power imbalance is not there such that those are really appropriate, in my opinion. The Democratic Party, the left, and liberals, whatever that tent looks like, is not a subjugated small force by a larger, more powerful one. They are about at parity. It just happens that one of them controls the government, and that does imbalance it. But it's still a question. That it's not like absolute. It's not such that, like, in the same way that, like, technically, if every white person in America during Jim Crow wanted to kill all the black people, they could have done it. Right now, Republicans, if all of them got together and said they wanted to kill all Democrats, there is a question of whether or not they could even accomplish that, right?
Sure.
And
yeah.
so
the situation is similar. Sure.
Right.
Well, I mean, it's just a lot of people, right? Like it's just simply no, hold on. Yeah, no, don't worry, okay? I want to watch this. I want to watch this talk first because I really like Kafka. So listen, just let me have this, okay? Please. Can you just please let me listen to my hero, please? I'm kidding, joking. I love you, okay? I was trying to guilt trip you on purpose because I'm manipulative and I'm a sociopath, okay?
So that's kind of the other side of it is like, yes, there's doom and gloom, but also like they are by no means in a position where they have the momentum to go and fully do the genocide, so long as we do not give them permission to do so, right? So
Sure.
just a small thing, but yeah, no, I appreciate it.
All right. I'll keep it in mind. Have fun with
Okay.
it.
Oh no. That was such a short segment on Kafka. I like that guy. He's like the good version of Pisco. A version of Pisco who will actually acknowledge my fucking existence. Okay, sorry. Right here. No.
Problems of this sort.
Dude, I don't need your timestamp links, okay? I don't need it, okay? I just scroll until I find it and then boom.
Pop up
okay?
everywhere, from nations locked in conflict to roommates doing the dishes. Even game shows have been based around this concept. Figuring out the best strategy can mean the difference between life and death, war and peace, flourishing and the destruction of the planet. And in the mechanics of this game, we may find the very source of one of the most unexpected phenomena in nature: cooperation. On the 3rd of September 1949, an American weather monitoring plane collected air samples over Japan. In those samples, they found traces of radioactive material. The Navy quickly collected and tested rainwater samples from their ships and bases all over the world. They also detected small amounts of cerium-141 and yttrium-91. But these isotopes have half-lives of 1 or 2 months, so they must have been produced recently.
Wow.
And the only place they could have come from was a
Your mom.
nuclear explosion.
Oh.
But the US hadn't performed any tests that year, so the only possible conclusion was that the Soviet Union had figured out how to make a nuclear bomb. This was the news the Americans had been dreading. Their military supremacy, achieved through the Manhattan Project, was quickly fading.
This makes the problem of Western Europe and the United States far more serious than it was before, and perhaps makes the imminence of war greater.
Some thought their best course of action was to launch
Oh, isn't the prisoner's dilemma? Sorry, the prisoner's dilemma is like present, like especially in the Cold War, right? Like, is it not? It's like better to have it's better to have both sides have nukes rather than one side have a nuke and the other side do not. Like, what? How else would you explain Ukraine, right? Like, you can easily explain Ukraine using this example, right? Yeah, this makes sense. Okay. Yeah, because we want to have. It's so smart. Because we want to have a world where there's no nukes, right? Well, nah, I'm not even sure if that's like a world that we want. But like let's just say we want a world that has no nukes because we don't have to live under existential dread, right? But then what's worse is a world where one person has nukes but the others does not, right? So therefore we want to be in a world so therefore we have to live in a world where both sides have nukes, right? Right. So the thing is I understand now. I'm enlightened.
an unprovoked nuclear strike against the Soviets while they were still
That's
ahead.
the point.
In the
Sorry.
words of Navy Secretary Matthews, to become aggressors for peace. John von Neumann, the founder of game theory, said, "If you say, why not bomb them tomorrow? I say, why not bomb them today?
Whoa!
If you say today at 5 o'clock, I say, why not at 1 o'clock?" Something needed to be done about nuclear weapons, and fast. But what? In 1950, the RAND Corporation, a US-based think tank, was studying this question. And as part of this research, they turned to game theory. That same year, 2 mathematicians at RAND had invented a new game, one which, unbeknownst to them at the time, closely resembled
Squid Game.
the US-Soviet conflict. This game is now known as the prisoner's dilemma. So let's play a game. A banker with a chest full of gold coins invites you and another player to play against each other. You each get 2 choices. You can cooperate or you can defect. If you both cooperate, you
I can't call myself a F no, it's because YouTube is a bit sensitive to that. That's the reason why Jay Stokes' channel got terminated. So no, I would prefer if you don't.
each get 3 coins. If one of you cooperates but the other defects, then the one who defected gets 5 coins and the other gets nothing. And if you both defect, then you each get a coin.
Yeah, but mutually assured destruction is another name for game theory or prisoner's dilemma for this. Yeah.
The goal of the game is simple, to get as many coins as you can. So, what would you do? Suppose your opponent cooperates, then you could also cooperate and get 3 coins. Or you could defect and get 5 coins instead.
Whoa!
So you are better off defecting. But what if your opponent defects instead? Well, you could cooperate and get no coins, or you could defect and at least get 1 coin. So no matter what your opponent does, your best option is always to defect. Now, if your opponent is also rational, they will reach the same conclusion and therefore also defect. As a result, when you both act rationally, you both end up in the suboptimal situation, getting 1 coin each, when you could have gotten 3 instead. In the case of the US and Soviet Union, this led both countries to develop huge...
Oh my god. Wait, there has to be a board game centered around game theory, right? Absolutely. There should be a board game where 4 people are playing and they have to try to see who's like trying to deceive one another, and then they're trying to like find and see if they wanted to have like secret alliances by passing a card, right? You pass a like a downside card to like a random person and say like, I want to cooperate with you. But then you pass another card to another person and say, I want to cooperate with you against this person. So you trick both of them by coming out on top. Oh my god, there should be a board game based off of that, right? Oh my god, that was that actually sounds so fun. There should be a board game for that.
nuclear arsenals of tens of thousands of nuclear weapons each, more than enough to...
But dude, I remember back in college, one of my favorite things to do with friends, I call them friends. I don't know what friends are anymore. But you know what? You get my point, okay? Isn't that Secret Hitler? Honestly, it probably is, okay? Yeah. Anyway, the point is I remember in college, one of my favorite things to do is to go to the board game place. There's like a place in town where you play board games and you eat food. It's like a restaurant and it's a board game place at the same time. So you eat, drink, and play board games with your fucking friends. It's fucking awesome. It's like one of my favorite things to do. Yeah, very chill.
destroy each other many times over. But since both countries had nukes, neither could use them. And both countries spent around $10 trillion developing these weapons.
Wow.
Both would have been better off if they had cooperated and agreed not to develop this technology further. But since they both acted in their own best interest, they ended up in a situation where everyone was worse off.
Oh, another game I really liked was Coup. Oh my god, Coup was so fun to play. Because the games are so quick. Like, all the games are so quick. Like, that's what makes it fun as well, yeah.
The Prisoner's Dilemma is one of the most famous games in game theory. Thousands and thousands of papers have been published on versions of this game. In part, that's because it pops up everywhere.
No.
Impalas, living in between African woodlands and savannas, are prone to catching ticks, which can lead to infectious diseases, paralysis, even death. So it's important for
Ruins
impalas
the
to
social
remove
tension
ticks,
on
and
the
they do this by
studio,
grooming.
really?
But they can't
Oh.
reach all the spots on their bodies,
Why?
and therefore they need another impala to groom them. Now, grooming someone else
Yikes.
comes at a cost. It costs saliva, electrolytes, time, and attention, all vital resources under the hot African sun, where a predator could strike at any moment. So for the other impala, it would be best not to pay this cost. But then again, it too will need help grooming. So all impalas face a choice. Should they groom each other or not? In other words, should they cooperate or defect? Well, if they only interact once, then the rational solution is always to defect. That other impala is never going to...
OMG, one of our family friends has a similar bar/pizza board game restaurant. It's really comfy. I know, right, dude? It's just, it's peak. It's peak. It's peak, okay? Listen, all right? It's peak. It just is. It's peak comfy. It's like the most comfiest thing ever.
help you, so why bother? But the thing about a lot of problems is that they're not a single prisoner's dilemma. Impalas see each other day after day, and the same situation keeps happening over and over again. So that changes the problem. Because instead of playing the prisoner's dilemma just once, you're now playing it many,
Coffee
many
and
times.
cheese.
And if I defect
Coffee and
now, then my
chess.
opponent will know that I defected, and they can use that against me in the future. So what is the best strategy in this repeated game?
The defecting over and over again when the other person doesn't. That's this one, by the way.
Wow. That's deep.
That is what Robert Axelrod, a political scientist, wanted to find out. So in 1980, he decided to hold a computer tournament.
He invited
Whoa.
some of the world's leading game theorists from many different subjects to submit computer programs that would play each other.
Axelrod called these programs strategies. Each strategy would face off against every other strategy and against a copy of itself. And each matchup would go for 200 rounds. That's important, and we'll come back to it. Now, Axelrod used points instead of coins, but the payoffs were the same. The goal of the tournament was to win as many points as possible. And in the end, the whole tournament was repeated 5 times over to ensure the success was robust and not just a fluke. Axelrod gave an example of a simple strategy. It would start each game by cooperating and only defect after its opponent had defected twice in a row. In total, Axelrod received 14 strategies, and he added a 15th called random, which...
Oh, we watched. I'll never be able to find where this was, but we watched the Sapolsky had like this whole lecture series on tit for tat, and he goes over a lot of these strategies that show up Nature.
Then, in the 1970s, there was an economist at the University of Michigan named Robert Axelrod, who revolutionized the entire field. What he did was he took some Paleolithic computer and programmed in how the prisoner's dilemma would be played.
Cute. Oh, it's the same thing. Wow.
And
What are the
he could
chances?
program in as if they were two players, and he could program in what each one's strategy would be. And what he then did was he wrote to all of his buddies and all of his mathematician friends and prize fighters and theologians and serial murderers and Nobel Peace Prize winners, and in each case explain what was up and saying, what strategy would you use in a prisoner's dilemma game? And he gets them all back, and he programs all these different versions, and he runs a round-robin tournament. Every strategy is paired against every other strategy at one point or other, and you look at what the payoff is, you ask, which is the most optimal strategy? And out of it, shockingly to everyone, because this was a computer teaching us optimizing human behavior, out of it came one simple strategy that always outcompeted the others. This is people sitting there, probabilistic ones as to when to cooperate, and lunar cycles as to what to do. The one that always won is now called tit for tat. You start off cooperating. In the very first round with the individual, you cooperate. If the individual has cooperated with you in that round, you cooperate in the next round. And you cooperate as long as the other individual cooperates. But as soon as there's a round where the individual cheats against you, you cheat against them the next time. If they cheated at you that time also, you cheat against them the next time. If they go back to cooperating, you go back to cooperating the next time. You have this tit-for-tat strategy. In the absence of somebody stabbing you in the back, you will always cooperate. And what they found was run these hundreds of thousands of versions of these round-robin tournaments, and tit-for-tat was the one that was most optimal. To begin to use a word that is not just going to be a metaphor, tit-for-tat always drove the other strategies into extinction. And what you wound up seeing is this optimized strategy. And it was very clear why tit-for-tat worked so well. Number one, it was nice. You start off cooperating. Number two, it retaliates if you do something crummy to it. Number three, it is forgiving if you go back to cooperating. Number four, it's clear-cut in its play. It's not some probabilistic thing. And what
The other person has to go back, right?
you get then with tit for tat is, suppose you're playing 3 rounds with another individual, you both cooperate the first one, you both cooperate the next one, you're playing tit for tat strategy, so you cooperate on this one, and they stab you in the back, and you can't get back at them because this is the last round. What you'll see is under lots of circumstances, tit for tat is disadvantageous, but what the soundbite is about it is, tit for tat may lose the battles, but it wins all the wars. This pattern of being nice, but being retaliatory, being forgiving, and being clear in the rules drives all the other strategies into extinction.
I guess or maybe he'll explain this more here, but that's what this
It
is.
would start each game by cooperating, and only defect after its opponent had defected twice in a row. In total, Axelrod received 14 strategies, and he added a 15th called Random, which just randomly cooperates or defects 50% of the time. All strategies were loaded onto a single computer, where they faced off against each other. One of the strategies was called Friedman. It starts off by cooperating, but if its opponent defects just once, it will keep defecting for the remainder of the game. Another strategy was called Joss. It also starts by cooperating,
That's me. That's me. I'm Friedman.
it will keep defecting for the remainder of the game. Another strategy was called Joss. It also starts by cooperating, but then it just copies what the other player did on the last move. Then around 10% of the time, Joss gets sneaky and defects. There was also a rather elaborate strategy called Grasscamp. This strategy works the same as Joss, but instead of defecting probabilistically, Grasscamp defects in the 50th round, to try and probe the strategy of its opponent and see if it can take advantage of any weaknesses. The most elaborate strategy was Name Withheld, with 77 lines of code. After all the games were played, the results were tallied up and the leaderboard established.
The crazy thing was that the simplest program ended up winning, a program that came to be called Tit for Tat.
Tit for Tat starts by cooperating, and then it copies exactly what its opponent did in the last move. So it would follow cooperation with cooperation and defection with defection. But only once. If its opponent goes back to cooperating, so does Tit for Tat. When Tit for Tat played against
Well. Look what fucking won out, mate. Indeed. Tit for tat. Titty for tatty. Yes, I can feel my brain expansion. No, it's pressing against my brain cage.
This is the tit for tat, is right here. That's what this is. And ideally, it can be this too. The other side is civil, then you're civil.
Meow.
These things, the infinite surrender, is a losing strategy. This is not the worst that it can be. This is the worst that it can be. Well, for one side. The other side is not.
Brain expansion.
Friedman, both started by cooperating, and they kept cooperating, both ending up with perfect scores for complete cooperation. When Tit for Tat played against Joss, they too started by cooperating, but then on the 6th move, Joss defected.
I don't understand what the actual thing they are strategizing for is. Well, they're strategizing for positive outcomes. And the positive outcome is reliant upon how the other person treats you. If another person treats you well, and then you treat them well, then both of you are in a cooperative relationship. If the other person takes advantage of you and steals something from you, then they might make off really well, but you're going to stop cooperating with them, and then now both of you are fucked. And it's only when one person goes back to treating you well.
Just don't apply this to criminals, okay? I'm not sure if cutting off someone's hand is a good punishment for thieving, okay?
You go back to treating them well again. And that sort of reciprocal behavior is like hardcore evolutionarily, biologically enforced throughout tons of different species. You can find, I think, Sapolsky, I think in his lecture series goes on a ton, you could like it, maybe even like funguses or whatever. Like you can find this type of evolutionarily cooperative behavior. Back.
Oh, but then the tat would be stealing from the thief, right? Okay.
and forth. But you can see obviously that that there are issues with the simplicity of the game, right? Which I say issues. I mean, obviously the people who made this are going to know, right? This relies, for instance, on information to be accurately gleaned from both sides. So, for instance, if you think the other side has been, tatting you when you've been tatting them, or if you think you've been titting them, but they've been titting you, like you have to be able to accurately see what both sides are doing as well, right?
He
When
said
Tit for Tat
tit.
played against Joss, they too started by cooperating, but then on the 6th move, Joss defected. This sparked a series of back and forth defections.
I don't know if this guy will get into it, for instance, but tit for tat is only the best strategy globally, assuming other people, I believe, are playing. No, other sort of strategies. If you're doing, no, hold on, I'm sorry, forget what I just said. Tit for tat is always the best strategy, but you have to.
Oh my god. But that implies if someone rapes you, you're gonna rape them. What?
You have to change up, because if you have like tit or whatever for tat, or if you allow another person to take advantage of you, then other strategies become optimal. I think Sapolsky talks about this. I don't know if I'll get into it in this, but like if you, for instance, if you're playing against a player who's not using tit for tat, they're using something that's more forgiving. Or I'm sorry, you're using something that's more forgiving, then they will be able to take advantage of you more and drive your negatives deeper while they take more advantage of you. It's not a good strategy. It's not a moral strategy.
A sort of echo effect.
Okay, so now you've got this alternating thing, which will remind you of some of the politics of the world today, where we have to do something to you because of what you did to us. And then when this weird program throws in a second unprovoked defection, now it's really bad, because now both programs are going to defect on each other for the rest of the game. And that's also like some of the things that we're seeing in politics today and in international relations.
As a result of these mutual retaliations, both Tit for Tat and Joss did poorly. But because Tit for Tat managed to cooperate with enough other strategies, it still won the tournament. We're being joined.
Hey, my God, there's Professor Axelrod. Well, what a treat this is.
And I imagine initially.
Thank you. The oversimplification tricks people into thinking game theory is a solution. Reality is not like this. The calculation.
So really, the only option now is that a Democratic president has to launch Biden coin, okay? Is to launch Biden coin and make Obama coin, okay? That's the only way. We have to engage in crypto war.
Of Nash equilibrium is non-trivial in real life. Well, not only is it in real life, there's a ton of other things. I'm pretty sure game theory, like people think that Prisoner's Dilemma is game theory. I think Prisoner's Dilemma is like a very specific example of a very specific problem in game theory, but game theory is a whole branch of very complicated mathematics, right? Like if you know how Prisoner's Dilemma works, that doesn't mean you necessarily know anything at all about all of the maths involved or on different aspects of game theory. But not to say that you shouldn't waste your time, like at least like understanding these concepts.
This is deep because it's about politics.
It'd be sort of like computer chess, where you need a pretty complicated program to play a sophisticated game. But in fact, it was not like that at all. It was a simple strategy that did the best. So I analyzed how that happened.
Axelrod found that all the best performing strategies, including Tit for Tat, shared 4 qualities. First, they were all nice, which...
Destiny, doesn't this only work if it's 3-1-5 ratio? What if it's more neutral? I don't know if Sapolsky alters the rewards. Maybe this guy will in this video. But if you alter the rewards and different things, then my guess is the behavior will change as well. So for instance, like... I shouldn't call mad tit for tat, but like, I believe that, for instance, nuclear powers, I think, are more forgiving of conflict than we think they are. People think that like nuclear powers, if one side blows up another side, they'll instantly nuke the other person. But because the punishment for nuclear warfare is so unbelievably negative, I think that there's like more like tit for tat. Like I think people would let somebody go pretty far before they would start pulling the trigger on nukes, because the punishment, the negatives on both sides there are really bad.
Right. That's why I said, like, I'm not entirely sure if, like, it would really necessarily be bad if everyone had nukes, because now everyone is forced to cooperate, but only between the people who have nukes, right? Because think about it. Now all the countries without nukes are completely fucked. Just like Ukraine, right? Which is an excellent example. Because let's just say, why the fuck shouldn't, if Russia really wants Ukraine, why the fuck shouldn't Russia invade Ukraine, right? Because the thing is that right now, they feel as though they're completely justified in doing so because they have nukes, right? So they feel like they have the freedom to do so. But really what the tat is someone else with nukes as well, with bigger power than Russia, would be invading Russia right now, right? Or on the ground. I don't know. It's just, there's just so many things going on right now, but yeah.
Just means they are not the first to defect. So
is this what Israel and Iran do? Yes. Actually, whenever you hear me talk about a lot of the...
Or it is Ukraine and Russia. Yeah. Ukraine gave up their nukes, so yeah, you kind of got fucked there, baby.
Bombings that were going on before, these were all tit-for-tat interactions. I think that you can probably generalize this to the country level for survival as well. This is why I said it's good. This is why it's good that, remember what I said before, for the information, the visibility is essential, right? And
Yeah, finally done the required reading to understand this Destiny clip. True, we have to allow Hunter Biden to accept Saudi money in exchange for political piety. Wait, hold on. What the fuck were we covering before? What? Were we covering anything before? No.
Economics and behavior, whatever you're talking about, information, meaning like the ability for both sides to understand what's actually transpiring is essential. If you don't know what's happening, then you're going to make decisions based off of information that might not be real. So it becomes much harder to predict the strategy unless you can predict how they're not receiving the information. So,
okay, whatever. Wait, does anyone have the Sonic inflation meme? Sorry, that popped into my mind. I have to see it, okay? Does anyone have the Sonic inflation meme where the person was like, wait, what is Sonic inflation? And he Googles it and he gets like really traumatized. Middle guy. Oh my god, I found it.
This is a chance, Stephen, for you, because I'm curious. They say, it may be ethical to smite, you're a rapist, but is it ethical to be into Sonic inflation? What was Sonic inflation again?
you're gonna have to Google that one, James.
Can I do it on my work computer?
I wouldn't do that, James.
Steven, I already have. Oh my gosh, Steven.
Oh.
All right.
No, stop.
This is a chance, Stephen, for you, because I'm curious. They say, it may be ethical to smite, you're a rapist, but is it ethical to be into Sonic inflation? What was Sonic inflation again?
You're gonna have to Google that one, James.
Can I do it on my work computer?
I wouldn't do that, James.
Steven, I already have. Oh my gosh, Steven.
Oh. Bro. Dude, we need to watch it again.
All right. This is a chance, Stephen, for you, because I'm curious. They say, it may be ethical to smite, you're a rapist, but is it ethical to be into Sonic inflation? What was Sonic inflation again?
You're gonna have to Google that one, James.
Can I do it on my work computer?
I wouldn't do that, James.
Steven, I already have. Oh my gosh, Steven.
Oh. Oh my god, it's beautiful. And he does it. Why does James announce it like that though? But why does he announce it like that? Why does he go like why does he go Steven, what is Sonic inflation? Too late, Steven. I'm already Googling it. Just like what? Oh yeah, this one.
You feel stupid right now because you didn't realize you're talking to a technologist.
Okay, then let's see if you can answer the question. I'm excited. Go ahead.
You asked, do I know what NFTs are? Not only do I know what NFTs are, is he playing music right now? He asked me a question I didn't want to hear the answer.
Were you going to tell me what an NFT is?
Nope. Would you mind stop playing music?
Were you going to tell me what an NFT is?
Long story short, I hosted a conference. I showed people how to create NFTs from scratch, from the command line, little buddy.
From the command line? Please, can you tell me how? I want to know how to create an NFT from the command line. Which command line? Okay, I'm curious. Does your audience realize that you don't know what an NFT is?
Do you realize?
I want to know what an NFT. I want to know. Can you guys ask him? I want to know. What is an NFT?
Hey there. You have something you want to bring up on Destiny's behalf since he's not able to represent himself?
Oh yeah. Well,
we need to have force on us.
Yeah. So I mean, but there's fears. There's like a phobia for basically everything. So there's like a phobia.
No, there's not a phobia for everything.
There's like a phobia for like explanations. There's like phobia for like explanations. So people will try to dodge explanations, kind of like you try to dodge the NFT thing earlier.
No, was that the actual point, or was the point of like, were you scamming? Was the point of like, were you?
So
scamming?
the point was
no, really, was the point?
He did it. Hey man,
he really wanted to catch you in a lie. So you tried skipping it and trying to move on to the next point.
That's the problem, is that I asked him if he was scamming.
Because you still haven't answered yet. One second,
man. I asked him if he was scamming, and to avoid saying yes, Marquette, I said don't do it. It's bad. And then I turned around and tried to sell them.
Oh, you know
Instead
this
of
guy
having to admit that, he starts going down the path of what is an NFT, which is going to get me to talk. No, we're not going to do that again.
Why?
We're going to have you answer the question.
Oh,
Let's bring some diversity in here.
There we go.
Patrick, how are you?
Patrick.
Hey, how are you?
What up,
well.
Patrick?
Yeah, just sort of piggybacking off of the sort of homophobia discussion that you're having, pro idea of homophobia as like an ideology, instead of like trying to be like an actual friend and look out for me. And so I told him like, enough tea, like enough tea, like NFT, like what is an NFT? What is an NFT?
Real quick, can you guys stop trying to join the chat because it's full and it keeps on popping up in levels. So if you guys can stop trying to join. It's kind of like blocking my view.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Talk to me.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for a lot of the work that you do actually on here, because I used to be a Destiny fan, but I learned that it was actually kind of silly because that's actually a girl's name. So I don't know, it seemed really feminine of him to like do that type of stuff online.
Okay.
And I really think that a lot of the indoctrination that he does online is just really pathetic. I think it's really ridiculous. And he actually also doesn't know what an NFT is. So I was wondering if you could explain it to me.
These guys are awesome. I like these guys. Talk to me.
Oh, hey, Mark. All right, so I got the command prompt open. What command do I have to put into make an NFT? Because
so first off, for example,
right,
if you
I got
generate Solana, do you know how to generate Solana?
Solana? No. What command do I?
Oh, silly buddy. Oh, how's it going? We got a black one. This is good.
A black one?
Yeah.
What?
Destiny does. I don't know. I mean, did you see the Jesse Lee Peterson interview? You had to be asked a lot if he liked black people. So I'm sorry. I'm really starting to doubt if he does. No, seriously. I've been watching him for a very long time, and I followed a lot of things from his life, and now I'm actually really starting to doubt everything. So I don't know. But you mentioned Solana, right? That you can generate.
Generate Solana wallet. Do you know how to do that? Oh, damn, he actually dropped out.
Oh, hello. Sorry, am I on?
Yeah, you're on. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Hey, sorry, I have like no time.
By the way, that was incorrect. Okay, Destiny has no black fans. Okay, all right. It is. Everyone there is white. Okay, that was propaganda. A paid actor. Okay, Destiny has no black fans.
For all these people who are like just trolling you. I wanted to ask you because I actually I went to Berkeley.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, just to be clear, you're talking about like UC Berkeley, not like Berkeley College of Music, right? Because that's.
Unfortunately, I don't have any musical talent.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, because I mean, music school, like really.
What about mining?
So for me, I actually had to drop my minor in like computer science. I had a lot of friends who were in blockchain at Berkeley, and.
Wait, he dropped.
You got a quicker one?
Hello?
Yeah, you got a quicker question?
Oh, okay, yeah. So you were talking about like homophobia, right? Before?
Yeah.
What is this camera angle?
Okay, so you were talking about how it's part of like the liberal agenda, right?
Correct.
Hello?
Bro, dude, not the fucking like deep throat POV. The deep throat POV, that's crazy, dude. This point of view is crazy. I'm sorry, this is a crazy point of view. Okay.
Yeah. This is a strange.
Like it's part of the liberal agenda, right?
Yeah.
I think actually, like even the way it's spelled, like there's the letter M, and then after the letter M, the letter N. So do you know what an NFT is?
This is good.
Each time? Well, no, I think they can see when he puts me in the back room. I understand like the shit.
Ready to actually discuss
so
like
stupid.
the topic at hand, or are you like still trying to go back so that you could try to like win like a small battle that's irrelevant?
Okay, I'm ready. I'm here to engage.
Fantastic.
Okay, go ahead.
Like one time you're playing the piano and it's like sad, all the tactics are quite childish.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us why there's a disproportionate amount of pedophilia is homosexual in nature?
I think that the issue is that the reason why a lot of homosexual people tend towards these behaviors has a lot to do with NFTs, and I have to know if you can describe an NFT to me in order for us to advance. Because if you don't know how to describe an NFT, you're a technologist, right? So you should be.
So sad.
If you put me in the back room.
This is so sad. These people come on though. Drop the link in if one of those people want to come on.
With camera on.
Yeah, with camera on. Absolutely.
We'll get to some chats.
Okay.